Well, this month we've been having fun celebrating Black history and featuring some of the stories of the unsung heroes in the Carolinas. We do not want to forget them. Tonight, we honor the life and legacy of Harvey Gantt. You may know him as the trailblazer who made history as Charlotte's first Black mayor, among other things. But before he could take office and before he could begin his career as a prominent architect, he had to face another challenge. That's finding a hotel room. Here's WCNC Charlotte's Caitlin Hagwood.
Inside the Harvey B. Gantt Center, it's easy to spot the history of the man behind the name. The first African-American student at Clemson, Charlotte's first Black mayor, and a renowned architect, all facts highlighted on the wall.
I don't think I deserve it.
I sat down with Gantt, who says it's more about the work than the titles.
The testimony to that is that I'm sitting here talking to you, but maybe 6 or 7 generations ago, our forebears were struggling.
Behind the highlights, he says, are stories of faith, including his path to Charlotte.
Clemson was a very good school of architecture, and usually their crop of graduates would get hired just like that. But nobody was coming to see me.
Finding work in the largely segregated South was a challenge.
And then up pops this firm out of North Carolina. We had to check to see where Charlotte really was, to be honest with you.
Even though the job was willing to consider him, the hotels weren't as open. And one by one, Harvey, his wife Lucinda, and their young daughter Sonia were turned away.
I wasn't feeling very good that night. I got a family to feed and house.
Finally, he says, one staffer at a local Howard Johnson motel said yes.
The next day, had a great interview and got the job.
He would go on to co-found Gantt Huberman Architects, creating some of the city's most iconic landmarks, including the Charlotte Transportation Center and Imaginon. Plus, becoming Charlotte's first Black mayor.
People have often said, well, why wouldn't you have had a negative feeling about Charlotte and said, to heck with that job, I'm going somewhere else. I know I can get a job going north, but I was going to stay in the South because I grew up here. We grew up in the church. And we ultimately believe that the person in charge is God himself. And if you believe in something, you ought to go get it.
With many of the highlights in his life well written, his focus now is encouraging the next generation.
The key here is hope, H-O-P-E. Hope and a kind of optimism that no matter where you come from, how Black you are, how poor you are, the beauty of this country is you can do something about it. You can bring some change.
Caitlin Hagwood, WCNC Charlotte.
We'll have more on our Black History Month special tonight at 8:30 on our streaming app, WCNC Plus. That's where a lot of our content is going, and it is for free. Download WCNC Plus on your smart TV.
Concerns are also growing tonight as the IRS faces potential staff cuts right in the middle of tax season.
And reports are surfacing that thousands of probationary workers could be laid off as soon as next week. WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris spoke with some of these experts as they weigh in for what this could mean for your tax return. So you're not left asking, where's the money?
The timing couldn't be more critical with tax season in full swing. And the thought of these IRS layoffs has both taxpayers and tax professionals worried about delays and even reduced services.
It's a tall task for the IRS, where each year they process more than 100 million tax returns. But this year could be different.
I think it's going to slow the processing of returns.
The IRS is expected to see over 10,000 layoffs as proposed budget cuts could force the agency to reduce its workforce. This could come just as Americans are rushing to meet the April filing deadline. Charlotte tax expert Lem Jones says if the reduction happens, it will impact this tax season.
Your paperwork and your processing with the IRS will get delayed.
How much of a delay are we talking about here?
It could be an extra 2 weeks.
Jones says the quicker you start the tax filing process, the better you are.
The longer you wait, it might be in a couple weeks, it might be 4 weeks, okay? Then 6 weeks. So I encourage people to come in as early as possible.
It's unclear just when or how many layoffs could come from the IRS this tax season. In North Charlotte, Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
WCNC Charlotte is making a difference with your help. When you share your news tips, we go to work.
I sent you that email. 15 minutes later, you're responding to me.
When a Charlotte woman battling cancer lost her health coverage, we demanded answers.
Within hours of WCNC Charlotte asking questions, the agency responsible quickly corrected its mistake.
Let us get to work for you.
Reach out to newstips at WCNC.com. WCNC Charlotte, news that impacts you.
Time now to connect the dots. When we make the news make sense, power companies have linemen on standby this morning. They have a strategy in place to get power restored to the most people as quickly as possible.
Think of the power grid like a puzzle. Each piece has to fit just right to get your lights back on. Let's connect the dots. The biggest priority for power companies, those big transmission lines. They carry electricity from power plants to your town. They serve thousands of people at once. Then it's primary lines. These bring power to busy parts of town where a lot of people might live and work, and in this case, hospitals and fire stations get priority. Next up, smaller tap lines. You often see these overhead in your neighborhood, and they keep your lights on. But if you are in the dark and your neighbor has power, that's totally normal. Houses right next to each other are often on different service lines. Make sure you report your outage and be patient as power crews try to fix your piece of that complicated power grid puzzle. And that is Connecting the Dots.
A new studio in Camp North End has become a creative hub for artists to come together and capture content. And this is the vision of three brothers who started their entrepreneurship journey back in 2016.
WCNC Charlotte's anchor Nick Sturdivant caught up with them and shares how they're also using their influence to promote Black history all year long.
Khalil, as the oldest, wanted to be able to kind of create a structure for us that we would be able to benefit from.
Najim?
I just think of legacy when we're able to have our own space with our name on it. That's a blessing.
And Malik Lloyd.
We all understood that there was more to be gained from us working together rather than working separately.
Are not just brothers, but the faces of Lloyd Visuals, a video production agency birthed out of a love of the arts.
I appreciate growing up in Greensboro because in a small town, you really have to find your creativity. There's not a lot of opportunity or locations.
From a young age, we were always together, performing together, doing things together.
In 2016, they ditched the 9-to-5 career to start the company.
I serve as the executive producer and co-founder, CEO, but I'm also the janitor.
This wouldn't be possible without my younger brother Malik, because he's the cinematographer.
And then Najim is our brand marketing manager.
In nearly a decade, they've been able to partner with ESPN and the NFL, along with doing projects in South America and Africa.
And figuring out how to help them connect with their target audience and how to really make sure that we're telling a culturally enriching and responsible story.
Last summer, the trio was able to make another dream come true, opening an office/studio space called Lloyd Studios. The Camp North End location is a creative hub for artists in the community to come together.
More opportunities for us to bring an even bigger set of community together, whether that's through, workshops, festivals, things of that nature that we're just really passionate about.
One of the ways they're doing that is through their Black 365 campaign they launched recently.
We feel like we've, been subjugated to 1 month, but truly, Black culture should be celebrated all the time, quite frankly, because we control what's cool.
And Khalil told me they have a documentary coming out soon, and he also says they're looking to do more programming and social events at Lloyd Studios this year. For a closer look, head over to our website, WCNC.com, or download the WCNC Charlotte News app.
When severe weather impacts the Carolinas, you can help us tell the story.
Our radar helps to keep you weather aware, along with images like these. Here's how to send us a video or picture of conditions impacting your area.
Make sure you're in a safe spot. Take a picture or a video, then send it to the Near Me feature on our WCNC News app.
Your image could be part of our weather impact coverage. Download the WCNC News app now.
Well, mortality rates for cancer appear to be going down. The American Cancer Society's 2025 annual report shows that there was a 34% decrease in deaths between 1991 and 2022.
Yeah, and that report also shows that more women and young adults are being diagnosed with cancer. So what should you be aware of and how can you reduce that risk? Let's verify.
Our source is the American Cancer Society and Dr. Pyle Coley. While the numbers show there's more reasons to be optimistic when it comes to the prognosis for those diagnosed with cancer, another concerning trend has emerged. More women and younger adults are being diagnosed with cancer. The American Cancer Society says diagnosis rates in women under 50 are now 82%, which is higher than their male counterparts, up from 51% in 2002. Dr. Coley shares some insights on the cases that are trending the most.
So what we're seeing in our women is that we're seeing more hormone types of cancers like breast cancer and thyroid cancer. And what we're seeing in the young population overall is cancers of systems that really work to detox our body. So this is like colorectal cancer or pancreatic cancer, cancers of the detox organs in the body.
The American Cancer Society report also noted some racial disparities. Native Americans are 2 to 3 times higher than white people to die from kidney, liver, stomach, and cervical cancers. And Black people are twice as likely to die from prostate, stomach, and uterine corpus cancer compared to white people.
And this is a lack of adequate literacy and a lack of adequate screening resources in these populations. So certain things about them may be predisposing them to certain types of cancers, but it's really up to us to try to find those cancers early so that we can treat them more aggressively.
So what can you do to reduce your risk?
So I like to say the 4 sort of pillars of prevention are eat, what you eat, a nice healthy diet, sleep 7 to 9 hours a night, because that's when our cells repair themselves, move. So 30 minutes for at least 5 days a week. And then the last one, which is hard for all of us, which is stress. We really need to work on that stress because when we get stressed out, we release cancer-causing chemicals that can actually disrupt our hormones.
And if you'd like something you want verified, just email me at verify@wcnc.com.
Thank you. Well, tonight, Mecklenburg County is seeking solutions for people re-entering society after serving time.
The Criminal Justice Services Department says it is seeing success with this program that it's trying out. The program supplements folks' income during their first year out of prison.
WCNC Charlotte's Julia Kaufman shows us how it's changing one man's life.
From being in and out of jail his entire life to getting clean and building a life for himself, Philip Chappell says for the first time he feels a purpose thanks to reentry services.
I've had help.
A helping hand is something Chappell says is new for him.
That's all really I've ever needed. I've never had anybody try to help me before.
For the first time in his adult life, Chappell is building a future outside of the prison system.
I've never made it on parole, so it's an accomplishment.
He finished his latest sentence in May and does not plan to go back.
Drugs has always been my problem, and I don't have that problem anymore because I actually have something to look forward to every day instead of getting high.
That newfound hope is thanks to the support he's receiving through Mecklenburg County's reentry services.
They gave me somewhere to live, they gave me clothes, they gave me, the resources that I needed to get a job.
He's also part of a pilot program called Ramp Up, where Criminal Justice Services gives him $600 a month during his first year out of prison.
The first thing I bought was an electric bicycle.
The program's 60 participants are allowed to spend the money on things like transportation, rent, work supplies, and food.
What are those things that they're identifying as their needs or the things that they need to help them really kind of move forward and get on track for the long term?
CJS Director Sonia Harper says it's one piece of the puzzle for crime prevention.
Some of our lowest recidivism rates across all the services that we provide here at CJS are amongst those that we're able to assist with housing.
The helping hand, making a difference for Chappell in more ways than one.
This program here is saved my life, really.
The pilot program was launched under the county's Office of Equity and Inclusion. The CJS handles participants' monthly stipends to ensure the money is spent properly. In Uptown, Julia Kaufman, WCNC Charlotte.
Scary stuff there. Let's turn now to a look at your forecast with meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. Chris, beautiful out there.
Beautiful. And I can't wait for those 70s tomorrow, too, right?
I know, we should be excited about just the 50s and 60s compared to where we were, but we got the 70s, y'all. February's been mean though, right? We hit like 80 degrees and all of a sudden there was some snow, and then all of a sudden 80 degrees and it got cold again. Then we had a most recent event. We were in the 40s. It's all over the place, but February tends to do that. But highs today, 64 degrees. Check that out. Look at those Carolina Blues off in the distance. That's pretty much what it's going to look like. Boone, you're getting above 50 degrees. All right, all right. All right, so what you're looking at right here, blue means below normal. So we haven't had an above average day in over a week. But do you remember last Wednesday and Thursday, the 19th and 20th? 40 and 42 were our highs. Yeah, that was also during that wintry mix. And our highs over the next few days are actually going to rise. By tomorrow, it'll be around 59. By the 28th, the last day of the month, it's up to 60 degrees. So what this is showing as we are slowly getting towards the mid-60s by March 14th is that we should expect actually more 60s than 50s as we head into the new month. Now, same thing, spending some time on this graphic, you can see temperatures right around 70 degrees tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So above normal, but then we're right around the average, up and down above that, but you're seeing more of the 50s and 60s going forward, above average weekend. Just everything is just heading in a good direction for us. I'm not saying that we're not going to see another round of winter precip around the Charlotte area, just letting you know we are looking a whole lot better and a whole lot more spring-like, so enjoy the warmer temperatures while we have them. That includes our lows and our evenings. Evening forecast, the lower 50s to the mid 40s, and then overnight tonight, as I mentioned, start off the half hour, we are finally above the freezing mark for our lows, 34 degrees, pretty much uniform across the area. A few more clouds up in the mountains are going to kind of keep us all equal across the area. I wasn't being lazy, I promise. 39 degrees right here around Wednesday, and then we have the upper 40s on Thursday. One key thing that we look at as meteorologists, whenever you have one low that separates from the other where it's much warmer, that indicates there's going to be more cloud cover. So that's also showing that another wet weather system is going to be rolling in at that point, but not yet, my friends. We have a couple of days to wait. Tomorrow, 70 degrees. There'll be a slight wind chill. 70 will still feel like 66. Those winds pick up slightly, but we're expecting wall-to-wall sunshine. A beautiful day, breathtaking. This is really tough for me. I've actually not made Tuesday, but Wednesday my pick of the week. Cue DJ air horn. We're looking at 71, so just 1 degree warmer. A few upper level clouds, so splitting hairs. Really, tomorrow and Wednesday both deserve the status. I just had to break the tie somehow, right? Our rainfall chances, one day stands out from the rest. Everything else is going to be dry and pretty much like what we have today. Some days will have more clouds than others, and I think that's going to be the end of your Wednesday. But likely, we are going to see rain for your Thursday. Here is our long-range models. Whenever it's further out, it's not going to show as much detail, but we can get a general idea where the timing is going to be and if there's going to be any intensity. So what we're looking at is really the middle of the afternoon, heading into the early evening, even a chance for some thunderstorms, but the back edge of this is also going to provide a chance for a wintry mix up in the high country. Keep that in mind. Guy Roofing 7-day forecast. Either side of 70 degrees Tuesday through Thursday. The coolest day, if you want to call it that, the upper 50s on Friday. A perfect start for the home opener for Charlotte FC. Still rocking the 60s through the first weekend of March. Enjoy.
WCNC Weather Impact, your trusted source for winter weather and beyond.
We're committed to keeping you safe, informed, and weather aware.
From frost and freezes to snow, the WCNC Weather Impact team tells you the timing and the essentials you need to know. Get the up-to-date forecast on your schedule, always streaming on WCNC Plus.
Your Weather Impact team only on WCNC Charlotte.
Stream now on WCNC Plus.
And at the South Carolina State House, state lawmakers want to make sure every vape product sold in the state is registered in one state directory, meaning if it is not approved, it's out. But some vape shops say it would limit the supply chain impacting their businesses.
A lot of our sales for here at this location are going to be vapes, so it definitely wouldn't help us.
Katrina Severson works at Day and Night Vape and Gift Shop, one of many places that sell vape products that use words like cupcake and candy. But those products wouldn't be able to be sold in the state under the new bill. The bill would create a directory. Products have to be approved by the FDA and meet requirements for labeling and packaging and can't contain any banned substances. Senator Larry Grooms is one of the bill's sponsors.
Some of the more dangerous products are coming from China. They're unregulated, and some have been found to even contain fentanyl. and other things that we know are very harmful and over long periods of time could be even lethal.
He says the registry would ensure all the products don't contain harmful ingredients.
I believe we pass the bill, a lot of the industry will clean itself up. It's not going to eliminate vaping, but at least we'll know where the products are coming from. We'll know that there's not lethal substances in them.
But with the new requirement, Severson says they're sure to see a limit on the supply chain.
If they were to limit the supplies and stuff, I think that would be a little bit harder to come back from.
And the bill has been approved by the subcommittee and will be headed to the full Medical Affairs Committee next month.
Time now to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. Today is President's Day, but do you know the history of the holiday?
The holiday doesn't date back as far as the presidency itself, but it does go back pretty far. Let's connect the dots. President's Day began as George Washington Day and was celebrated as a holiday in the District of Columbia. It was always celebrated on the anniversary of his birth, February 22nd. It was made a federal holiday in 1885. We know it today as President's Day because of the Uniform Monday Holiday Act. In 1971, the act was passed to create more three-day weekends. It moved several federal holidays from their original date to Mondays. Marketers jumped at the opportunity to play up the three-day weekend with sales, and President's Day bargains were advertised at stores across the country. No matter what name you call it, it's a day to celebrate all U.S. presidents, past and present. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Question everything and verify with WCNC Charlotte. Taking questions, seeking experts for the answers, and sharing the knowledge to distinguish fact from fiction.
With this breaking news, we're seeing a lot of claims on social media.
No question left unanswered.
Police say this is true. All 4 of those shootings are connected.
Clearing up the confusion and bringing the truth into focus. WCNC Charlotte is guiding the way. New at 6, homeowners associations could be a gold mine for cyber criminals hoping to secure people's personal information and then steal their identities. Tonight, a company 50,000 HOAs use is reaffirming its commitment to protect homeowners' data, and it only comes after WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito started asking questions.
This started when a Union County homeowner reached out to me with concerns that his and his neighbor's personal information might one day be sold. In response, the company in question is now taking steps to address those fears.
This is where the magic happens.
T. Rob Wyatt.
Alrighty then.
Is the definition
I'm making too many mistakes.
Of detail-oriented.
I'm gonna ruin my bowl if I keep this up.
When the craftsman's not in his wood shop.
And right now what I'm doing is I'm just refining the bottom.
Wyatt's built a career as an IT security consultant, always refining his approach to limit risk.
I'm gonna pay for that.
A mantra he lives by in his personal life too.
Yeah, I'm the guy that actually reads the terms of service and the privacy policy.
So of course, when he and his wife moved into this Union County neighborhood, Wyatt read the fine print.
I volunteered to fix it.
They must love you.
Yeah.
Like 50,000 other homeowners associations, his HOA relies on Sync systems for account and management software. Sync's privacy statement posted on his and other homeowners association websites makes it clear the company may collect homeowners' personal information. The same policy says Sync may share or disclose that for any lawful purpose, which may include selling your data to third parties. Adding to Wyatt's alarm, users cannot opt out.
If you compel someone to give their data, the custodian of that data should keep it private.
I think data brokers should not be in the conversation when we're talking about buying and selling property.
UNC Charlotte security and privacy expert Dr. Corey Fekleris once served on her neighborhood's HOA board, so she understands the need to collect some information and also the responsibility of protecting it. She's afraid identity thieves will get their hands on this data and then use it to target people with communications that look legitimate.
It's very dangerous because we're inclined to trust.
Dr. Fekleris thinks the government should better regulate this industry, especially as HOA costs go up.
This opens the door in the future to a practice that really I don't think anybody wants.
The management company that handles Wyatt's HOA, through its attorney, told us its understanding is that Sync does not sell data.
If they don't today, they could tomorrow because that's the terms of their contract.
Knowing every word matters, Mr. Meticulous pushed for a change that would at least protect some of his information. Since this is an age-restricted community, the HOA is required to take a yearly survey to ensure people are over 55. Instead of scanning and handing over driver's licenses or passports to the HOA to verify ages,
it's more information than they need.
He created an affidavit to accomplish the same thing without transferring any data.
The notary comes out, looks at your driver license, and then attests that you're over 55.
Considering his background, he, of all people, knows just how big of an impact one detail can make.
A small victory, but a victory, a positive difference.
And now, another win. Sync Systems is taking steps to put him and other homeowners at ease. Sync told us the company has not and does not sell homeowner information. In a statement, Sync said, quote, "While we believe our privacy policy already stated that fact, we are updating our policy to ensure that point is crystal clear," end quote. The company added data privacy is a top priority that is taken very seriously. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.
Our area crews have been pre-treating roads since Monday, but slick conditions are still expected. Officials say you want to make sure you're doing everything to keep you and your family safe while out there on the roads. That means turning on lights, windshield wipers, and of course slowing down.
But someone at home asked us if they could keep their cruise control on during this weather. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies. All right, I think we're having some issues getting that report on.
Yeah, let's
Oh, we're going to go to it now.
We got this email from viewer Tom W. He said, "Is it true that driving in the rain with cruise control is dangerous? Has new technology made this less of a problem?" So let's verify. Our source is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the U.S. Department of Transportation, and Tiffany Wright, the AAA Director of Public Affairs. NHTSA states it's best to use cruise control on long open highways and when conditions are safe to drive at a steady speed. But in wet weather,
wet conditions, do not use your cruise control. Your chances of losing control of your vehicle greatly increase.
according to the U.S. Department of Transportation, the most weather-related crashes happen on wet roads and when it's raining. 70% on wet pavement and 46% during rainfall.
When you're in cruise control, you don't have the ability to be completely in control of your vehicle. It also lessens your reaction time, right? You just have to have the ability to be able to take your foot off and on the accelerator.
When it comes to newer technology,
a lot of modern day cars, they won't even allow you to engage in cruise control when the car senses wet conditions.
So we can verify that, yes, driving in the rain with cruise control is dangerous. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Every morning, your mission is to get ahead of traffic. Our mission is to save you time and get you there safe.
You can trust WCNC Charlotte to alert you to trouble spots impacting your commute. Stay on the move with WCNC Impact Traffic. WCNC Plus. Stream now.
The Department of Education is pulling the plug on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in schools. Not the first time we've heard this from the federal government. Institutions receiving federal funding now have until the end of the month to comply or risk losing that support. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre joining us live in studio with a look at what that means for students and educators here. Jesse, I'm sure a lot of people who are hearing this have many questions about what this means for them.
Absolutely. So many questions about all of this. Now, for many students, school isn't just a place to learn, it's where they find belonging. Now, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, or DEI, have helped create those spaces, ensuring all students feel seen and supported. Now, schools are left with a major decision: dismantle the DEI programs or face the financial consequences.
DEI aims to create safe, welcoming spaces for all students.
Not just students of color, not just LGBTQ+ students, not just students of faith or different backgrounds, but it's really about creating a way for all students to understand and to come together.
But a new directive from the U.S. Department of Education threatens to take that all away. A letter was sent to schools and universities last week, giving them 14 days to eliminate DEI initiatives, or else lose federal funding.
It's attempting to hobble or outright stop efforts by educators and administrators to provide and promote equal access to quality education.
The letter adds, school must end race-based preferences in admissions, hiring, scholarships, administrative support, and beyond. A directive critics like Shane Mendez-Winmeyer, a DEI higher education consultant, says is a step backwards.
And I really see this as a scare tactic in order to get, administrators in higher education just to decide, oh, well, we're going to take these actions, and really they don't have any direction on what to do and what not to do.
The biggest concern is that students and families that are already vulnerable, that are already at a disadvantage, that their circumstances are only going to get worse.
Supporters of the program like Molly Burkholder with PFLAG Charlotte says the program itself is misunderstood.
If you ask people outside of partisan politics, do you support inclusion? Do you want students to feel like they belong in school? Do you believe in principles like equity and equality? Most people are going to say yes.
With schools left in limbo, what happens next remains uncertain.
Are we talking about, a African-American cultural center on college campuses? Are we talking about the Jewish, the Hillel Center?
Right now, it's unclear how many schools will follow the directive and how many will push back. What is certain is that the future of DEI in education is on the line. Colin?
Certainly so.
Well, as we celebrate Black History Month, we're taking a look at how a groundbreaking leader is making history right here in Charlotte.
As WCNC Charlotte's Jane Monreal shows us, Dr. Shantae Williams isn't just breaking barriers, she's transforming one of the Southeast's oldest cultural institutions.
Inside Blumenthal's Belk Theater, the stage is set for more than just a show. It's set for change.
The theater is where we make the magic happen. So yes, my second home.
Last year, Dr. Shantae Williams stepped into her role as General Director of Opera Carolina, becoming not just the first woman, but also the first Black woman to lead the organization in its 75-year history.
I'm in awe of it every day.
But Williams isn't just making history, she's reshaping it. The CEO of venture capital firm Black Pearl is bringing her business acumen to the local art scene.
And of course, I'll be raising money because it takes, funding to fill this theater and to sell all these seats. But I am really excited about really just spreading the word and telling the stories that are really impactful to Charlotte.
The Charlotte native's journey to opera began unexpectedly as a grad student at Ohio State University, where an advisor's collection of CDs sparked an unexpected passion.
Well, you grew up in the church. And I said, I did. And he says, all music can move you. All music can make you, it tells a story, it connects you. It's about love, it's about death, it's about passion, and that's what you're feeling with the opera. And after that, I was hooked.
Today, that passion is inspiring a new generation.
There are people now that will come into the opera space in this city and will say, oh, I'm an opera lady now. This is for me. This is a place where I am welcome, and I'm really, really proud of that.
Taking her place in the front row to make Charlotte history.
I am always cognizant that we stand on the shoulders of the people who came before us and did the hard work. As hard as I think my job might be some days, there's somebody who broke down a different wall. There's somebody who had to ram through a different set of barriers. As long as we continue to remember that it's not about me, it's about we. And it's not even just a we as Black people, it's we as a people collectively. We have a much stronger voice together than we do separately.
In Uptown, Jane Monreal, WCNC Charlotte.
Well, for more on Black History Month, we've got it all month long. Make sure to check out WCNC Plus, especially tonight. Starting at 8, we'll take a look at Black Americans who have made an impact and those who have been trailblazers. Download WCNC Plus on Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV.
WCNC Weather Impact, your trusted source for winter weather and beyond. From frost and freezes to snow, get the up-to-date forecast on your schedule.
Your Weather Impact team only on WCNC Charlotte.
Stream now on WCNC Plus.
New here at 6. A Charlotte couple is celebrating the birth of their daughter after spending years struggling with fertility issues. We first met the couple last year when they were hopeful that new technology at an area clinic would help them. Tonight, WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden introduces you to their daughter, who was years in the making.
Last summer, we took you behind the scenes at a very secure, very high-tech part of Carolina's Fertility Institute to show you this new technology. That new technology may be the reason that tonight we're able to introduce you to this couple's new baby.
It's been amazing. It's the most fun, it's the most love that I've ever felt.
She's obsessed with being held, doesn't want to be put down.
Madison's Mara and her husband Walter Shaw are in love with their little one.
I do a lot of the 2 a.m., 3 a.m. shifts with her, and there's times where you're just sitting there looking at her and just your heart fills so much, and there's nothing else in the world that matters in that moment.
You know, we've gone through and we know how difficult and what a miracle it is to have children. So just gives you a greater appreciation for the fact that she's here.
Baby Serena is here after a 3-year struggle filled with 4 rounds of IVF. We first met Mom Madison when she was just 9 weeks pregnant and hopeful that this time would work.
Excited, nervous, you know, it's not a guarantee.
The couple struggled to get pregnant. Doctors realized Walter's wiring prevented quality sperm from getting through.
But I think that was probably the hardest challenge for me was there's so much mental and emotional of overcoming some of those issues and feeling that guilt, feeling those challenges really internally and being able to get to a place where you can put it behind you and say, hey, we've overcome this.
After 3 failed attempts at one fertility clinic, the couple moved to Carolina's Fertility Institute, where they're using new AI technology to help give the embryos the best chance at success.
Right now, I'm treating embryos.
Was there ever a time where you thought, I might not be a mom?
Yeah, 100%. Through every round that you go through in IVF and you're being told that there's nothing to work with, you absolutely feel like, is this ever going to work for us?
We went through so much. I'm very much now, whatever I had to go through to get her, I'd do it a million times again.
It's incredible. It's just been amazing to have her. I was thinking today of like all of the pain and the heartache that we've gone through. 100% worth it. She's the most incredible thing to ever happen to us.
1 in 6 couples struggle with fertility. If this is something your family is facing, we've got resources for you at WCNC.com. Reporting in Charlotte, Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.
WCNC Weather Impact, your trusted source for winter weather and beyond.
We're committed to keeping you safe, informed, and weather aware.
From frost and freezes to snow, the WCNC Weather Impact team tells you the timing and the essentials you need to know. Get the up-to-date forecast on your schedule, always streaming on WCNC Plus.
Your Weather Impact team only on WCNC Charlotte.
Stream now on WCNC Plus.
Scary stuff there. Let's turn now to a look at your forecast with meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. Chris, beautiful out there.
Beautiful. And I can't wait for those 70s tomorrow, too, right?
I know. We should be excited about just the 50s and 60s compared to where we were, but we got the 70s, y'all. February's been mean, though, right? We hit like 80 degrees, and all of a sudden there was some snow, and then all of a sudden 80 degrees, and it got cold again. Then we had the most recent event. We were in the 40s. It's all over the place, but February tends to do that. But highs today, 64 degrees. Check that out. Look at those Carolina blues off in the distance. That's pretty much what it's going to look like. At most, you might have an upper-level cloud or two. 53 degrees in Boone. Boone, you're getting above 50 degrees. All right, all right. All right, so what you're looking at right here, blue means below normal. So we haven't had an above average day in over a week. But do you remember last Wednesday and Thursday, the 19th and 20th? 40 and 42 were our highs. Yeah, that was also during that wintry mix. And our highs over the next few days are actually going to rise. By tomorrow, it'll be around 59. By the 28th, the last day of the month, it's up to 60 degrees. So what this is showing as we are slowly getting towards the mid 60s by March 14th is that we should expect actually more 60s than 50s as we head into the new month. Now, same thing, spending some time on this graphic, you can see temperatures right around 70 degrees tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So above normal, but then we're right around the average, up and down above that, but you're seeing more of the 50s and 60s going forward, above average weekend. Just everything is just heading in a good direction for us. I'm not saying that we're not going to see another round of winter precip around the Charlotte area, just letting you know we are looking a whole lot better and a whole lot more spring-like, so enjoy the warmer temperatures while we have them. That includes our lows and our evenings. Evening forecast, the lower 50s to the mid 40s, and then overnight tonight, as I mentioned, start off the half hour, we are finally above the freezing mark for our lows, 34 degrees, pretty much uniform across the area. A few more clouds up in the mountains are going to kind of keep us all equal across the area. I wasn't being lazy, I promise. 39 degrees right here around Wednesday, and then we have the upper 40s on Thursday. One key thing that we look at as meteorologists, whenever you have one low that separates from the other where it's much warmer, that indicates there's going to be more cloud cover. So that's also showing that another wet weather system is going to be rolling in at that point, but not yet, my friends. We have a couple of days to wait. Tomorrow, 70 degrees. There'll be a slight wind chill. 70 will still feel like 66. Those winds pick up slightly, but we're expecting wall-to-wall sunshine. A beautiful day, breathtaking. This is really tough for me. I've actually not made Tuesday, but Wednesday my pick of the week. Cue DJ air horn. Bow, 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 bow. We're looking at 71, so just 1 degree warmer. A few upper-level clouds, so splitting hairs. Really, tomorrow and Wednesday both deserve the status. I just had to break the tie somehow, right? Our rainfall chances, one day stands out from the rest. Everything else is going to be dry and pretty much like what we have today. Some days we'll have more clouds than others, and I think that's going to be the end of your Wednesday. But likely, we are going to see rain for your Thursday. Here is our long-range models. Whenever it's further out, it's not going to show as much detail, but we can get a general idea where the timing is going to be and if there's going to be any intensity. So what we're looking at is really the middle of the afternoon, heading into the early evening, even a chance for some thunderstorms, but the back edge of this is also going to provide a chance for a wintry mix up in the high country. Keep that in mind. Guy Roofing 7-day forecast. Either side of 70 degrees Tuesday through Thursday. The coolest day, if you want to call it that, the upper 50s on Friday. A perfect start for the home opener for Charlotte FC. Still rocking the 60s through the first weekend of March. Enjoy.
It's time to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. The Trump administration's federal job cuts may have a larger impact than you realize.
Experts warn the jobs could have a much wider economic impact. Let's connect the dots. Tens of thousands of government workers have been laid off or offered buyouts as part of a push to shrink the federal workforce. The exact number is unclear, but estimates suggest it could be the largest job cut in U.S. history. These layoffs impact agencies across the government, from the IRS to the National Park Service. Experts say the ripple effect could hurt local economies, especially in cities like Washington, D.C., where many depend on federal jobs. Economists warn that lost wages could lead to less spending at restaurants, daycare centers, and small businesses. However, they don't expect the layoffs alone to cause a recession. The broader economy is still strong, and many workers may find new jobs quickly. Still, with other policies like tariffs and mass deportations, experts say these cuts add to growing economic uncertainty. And that's connecting the dots.
You can see there at the end, to your point a second, they were holding up a picture of Gilda Radner,
yes,
who had lost to cancer back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it was sad because they did, not a montage, but they mentioned several of the cast members they've lost. Phil Hartman.
So many, John Belushi,
yeah,
Phil Hartman to a tragic situation.
Yeah, it was just, as good as it was, that it was also touching.
Yeah.
And I was also going into this week thinking, you know what? These SNL people are making such a big deal of this 50th anniversary. Oh my God! Then you see that, and then the music show they had on Friday night, which was like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I watched clips of it.
Oh yeah, I love that.
The Fugees came back. Like it was like amazing. It was so
I wonder if it's more pressure when they're having to do the skits in front of other fellow celebrities and people who were previous cast members.
Because they're being watched by the founders. They're like a Chevy Chase, Bill Murray over there going, all right, let's see what you can do.
I bet it's a tougher crowd, honestly.
Mm-hmm. But it's probably not as bad if you break character either, because you're among
Everyone gets it.
And you know what I love it that in true SNL form last night, you had some really, really funny ones, and then some you're like,
some were like,
huh?
Flats.
What? Which is SNL.
Notorious.
That's SNL for you. So it was good.
But you know what? It's live television, the last of true live TV.
Yep, totally.
Except what we do here.
They make it. They pull it off.
We're just like that.
Yes, we're very
Our
similar.
cast is amazing.
Very similar. That's right.
When severe weather impacts the Carolinas, you can help us tell the story.
Our radar helps to keep you weather aware, along with images like these. Here's how to send us a video or picture of conditions impacting your area.
Make sure you're in a safe spot. Take a picture or video, then send it to the Near Me feature on our WCNC News app.
Your image could be part of our weather impact coverage. Download the WCNC News app now.
Time now to connect the dots. When we make the news make sense, artificial food dyes are in nearly everything, probably including your breakfast. But growing concerns over their safety are leading to new bans and tighter regulations.
Artificial food dyes are under the microscope. Let's connect the dots. The FDA recently banned red dye number 3, a synthetic dye found in candies, baked goods, and medicines. But it's just one of many artificial colors still widely used in the U.S. Other dyes like red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1 are found in everything, from cereals to sodas. But some research suggests they could impact child behavior, specifically linking them to hyperactivity. That's why some states are taking action. California recently banned several artificial food dyes from school meals, and other states are considering similar bans. Organizations are also pressuring food brands to remove synthetic dyes altogether. They're already banned in foods across Europe, but in the U.S., those additives are still common and regulated by the FDA. The agency says most people don't experience negative effects, but acknowledges some kids may be more sensitive. Experts say the best way to avoid the dyes is to read the ingredient labels. And that is connecting the dots.
More than 20 years, there's been a national initiative to save the lives of Black men, empowering them to understand that by taking care of yourself, you can live longer. As WCNC Charlotte's Nick Sturdivant shows us, the National African American Male Wellness Agency is having an impact in cities across the country, including here in Charlotte.
Here we go. Dr. Augustus Parker III is not just competitive on the pickleball court. We got to get you doing something good. But competitive in the race to save the lives of Black men.
African American men are dying some 10 to 12 years sooner than their white counterparts. Some 40% of African American men are hypertensive, but we're seeing it younger and younger and younger.
While living in Columbus, Ohio, the now retired physician decided to do something on a grassroots level.
Well, the initiative started in 2004 with Mr. John Gregory, and he founded the organization, the African American Wellness Agency, as an awareness campaign. And they started walking, and then they contacted me as a physician to become involved and do free health screenings.
The National African American Male Wellness Initiative works to encourage men through events and health education that prevention is key.
Here we are 20 years later in 20-some cities around the nation, and we've screened 5,000 people a year, free health screenings.
In 2017, Parker and his family moved to Charlotte.
In 2019, I told Mr. Gregory, hey, I know you're starting a national tour and looking for other cities. This would be a great city to continue that work. And he said, congratulations, you're the new city coordinator. So
continuing to spread awareness with a team. James Curtis Mackey is the new city coordinator, taking over the role from Parker.
When I believe in our efforts that what we're doing here, and I believe that it's so important for Black men and everybody to know their numbers.
I've seen the pictures and the videos from events. When you see the turnout, man, what is that like?
Oh wow, I tell you, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's such a good feeling to know that so many people are aware of our endeavor here.
And while Parker is taking a step back as city coordinator, he's not slowing down.
There's a lot of work to be done in raising awareness, but also this national tour. We have events throughout the year that include nutritional aspects, mental health.
Reporting for WCNC Charlotte.
WCNC Weather Impact, your trusted source for winter weather and beyond. From frost and freezes to snow, get the up-to-date forecast on your schedule.
Your Weather Impact Team, only on WCNC Charlotte.
Stream now on WCNC Plus.
Time now to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. Well, when this kind of weather hits, it's important for crews to keep snow and ice off the roads. And while there are two ways to do it, there is a big difference between those two.
Have you ever wondered why road crews sometimes use brine instead of salt? Let's connect the dots. For years, road crews have used rock salt to melt ice and snow. But traditional salt only works well when temperatures stay above 15 degrees. That's why departments are turning to new methods. One of the biggest improvements is brine. It's a liquid solution applied to roads before a storm. Unlike rock salt, it starts working immediately and is effective at lower temperatures. Some states even mix in beet juice and other natural additives to improve performance. So why do crews put out salt and brine before the snow instead of after? That's because studies show it takes 4 times less salt to prevent ice buildup than to remove it later. Pre-wetting roads with brine also helps salt last longer, meaning fewer applications are needed. With better weather forecasts and proactive strategies, crews are keeping roads safer while saving more money. And that is connecting the dots.
More suspicious texts are raising questions tonight. Some WCNC Charlotte viewers getting messages sharing how to protect your food nutrition services benefits.
But they are wondering now if this is a scam or something that you should actually check into. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies.
We got a message to our Verify team that shared info from a text and asked, can you let us know if this message is a legitimate text from Food Nutrition Services, or is this a scam to get us to log into an app so that they can obtain information? Our sources, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Social Services. NCDHHS recently shared this post on Facebook, which is similar to the text people are receiving. It shares ways you can keep your benefits safe, including using the EBT Edge app and turning off out-of-state transactions. Both DSS and NCDHHS have also shared these tips to stay safe. If you receive emails or texts from someone asking for EBT card information or your PIN, do not respond. Legitimate texts from organizations do not include a website link that you have to click. This is usually a scam in an attempt to access your information. NCDHHS recommends families take the following steps to stay secure. Check your EBT account regularly for unauthorized charges. Check your card reading machines in stores to make sure there's nothing suspicious overlaid or attached to the card swiper. And contact law enforcement to report the stolen benefits. You can learn more about how to stay secure inside the WCNC Charlotte mobile app. Just click on this story. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
WCNC Weather Impact, your trusted source for winter weather and beyond.
We're committed to keeping you safe, informed, and weather aware.
From frost and freezes to snow, the WCNC Weather Impact team tells you the timing and the essentials you need to know. Get the up-to-date forecast on your schedule, always streaming on WCNC Plus.
Your Weather Impact Team, only on WCNC Charlotte.
Stream now on WCNC Plus.
Scary stuff there. Let's turn now to a look at your forecast with meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. Chris, beautiful out there.
Beautiful. And I can't wait for those 70s tomorrow, too, right?
I know. We should be excited about just the 50s and 60s compared to where we were, but we got the 70s, y'all. February's been mean, though, right? We hit like 80 degrees, and all of a sudden there was some snow, and then all of a sudden 80 degrees, and it got cold again. Then we had the most recent event. We were in the 40s. It's all over the place, but February tends to do that. But highs today, 64 degrees. Check that out. Look at those Carolina blues off in the distance. That's pretty much what it's going to look like. At most, you might have an upper-level cloud or two. 53 degrees in Boone. Boone, you're getting above 50 degrees. All right, all right. All right, so what you're looking at right here, blue means below normal. So we haven't had an above average day in over a week. But do you remember last Wednesday and Thursday, the 19th and 20th? 40 and 42 were our highs. Yeah, that was also during that wintry mix. And our highs over the next few days are actually going to rise By tomorrow, it'll be around 59. By the 28th, the last day of the month, it's up to 60 degrees. So what this is showing as we are slowly getting towards the mid-60s by March 14th is that we should expect actually more 60s than 50s as we head into the new month. Now, same thing, spending some time on this graphic, you can see temperatures right around 70 degrees tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So above normal, but then we're right around the average, up and down above that, but you're seeing more of the 50s and 60s going forward, above average weekend. Just everything is just heading in a good direction for us. I'm not saying that we're not going to see another round of winter precip around the Charlotte area, just letting you know we are looking a whole lot better and a whole lot more spring-like, so enjoy the warmer temperatures while we have them. That includes our lows and our evenings. Evening forecast, the lower 50s to the mid 40s, and then overnight tonight, as I mentioned, start off the half hour, we are finally above the freezing mark for our lows, 34 degrees, pretty much uniform across the area. A few more clouds up in the mountains are going to kind of keep us all equal across the area. I wasn't being lazy, I promise. 39 degrees right here around Wednesday, and then we have the upper 40s on Thursday. One key thing that we look at as meteorologists, whenever you have one low that separates from the other where it's much warmer, that indicates there's going to be more cloud cover. So that's also showing that another wet weather system is going to be rolling in at that point, but not yet, my friends. We have a couple of days to wait. Tomorrow, 70 degrees. There'll be a slight wind chill. 70 will still feel like 66 as those winds pick up slightly, but we're expecting wall-to-wall sunshine. A beautiful day, breathtaking. This is really tough for me. I've actually not made Tuesday, but Wednesday my pick of the week. Cue DJ air horn. Bow, 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 bow. We're looking at 71, so just 1 degree warmer. A few upper level clouds, so splitting hairs. Really, tomorrow and Wednesday both deserve this status. I just had to break the tie somehow, right? Our rainfall chances, one day stands out from the rest. Everything else is going to be dry and pretty much like what we have today. Some days will have more clouds than others, and I think that's going to be the end of your Wednesday. But likely, we are going to see rain for your Thursday. Here is our long-range models. Whenever it's further out, it's not going to show as much detail, but we can get a general idea where the timing is going to be and if there's going to be any intensity. So what we're looking at is really the middle of the afternoon, heading into the early evening, even a chance for some thunderstorms, but the back edge of this is also going to provide a chance for a wintry mix up in the high country. Keep that in mind. Guy Roofing 7-day forecast. Either side is 70 degrees Tuesday through Thursday. The coolest day, if you want to call it that, the upper 50s on Friday. A perfect start for the home opener for Charlotte FC. Still rocking the 60s through the first weekend of March. Enjoy.
We start with a violent weekend for CMPD as officials are investigating two shootings. The first incident happened last night along Lauren K. Court, and the second early this morning along Finchley Drive. WCNC Charlotte's Anna King, she joins us live from CMPD headquarters in Uptown. And Anna, you have spent the day talking to neighbors. What are they telling you right now?
That's right, and actually tonight many residents wanted to remain off camera just out of fear, but they did tell me something needs to be done to get a handle on the violent crime taking over their quiet communities.
Tonight, Charlotte officials have their work cut out for them. 2 investigations, 2 separate shootings, and 2 left in critical condition.
Like 2 times away, so we are like thinking like we are not like in a safe place. No?
The first shooting on Lauren K. Court in Northwest Charlotte around midnight Friday. Officials say they were responding to reports of gunfire, and when they arrived, they found someone who had been shot. Neighbors who were too afraid to go on camera explained the gunshots took them by surprise and say multiple agencies were at the scene for hours investigating. And on another side of town in East Charlotte, a second shooting along Finchley Drive this morning.
There was a lot of cops, like night cops.
Residents there say they hear gunfire multiple times a week, so this one came at no surprise. In both cases, victims were transported from the scene, both with life-threatening injuries. And tonight, while officials investigate, neighbors say they hope for a solution to this growing problem.
And also tonight, officials are asking that if you know anything about these 2 cases, you contact Crime Stoppers at 704-334-1600. Live at the CMPD headquarters, Anna King, WCNC Charlotte.
So scary for everyone impacted by this. Anna, thank you so much for that report.
Well, nearly a month into the North Carolina legislative session, lawmakers have introduced multiple bills focused on expanding gun rights. Now, meanwhile, gun safety advocates are worried about possible impacts if those bills are signed into law, especially on children. WCNC Charlotte's Julie Kay breaks down those concerns and the multiple bills that are on the table.
Right out of the gate in the 2025 legislative session, a hot-button issue, expanding Second Amendment rights. Multiple gun-related bills hitting their target audience, like Larry Hyatt at Hyatt Coin & Gun.
It's going to be our job in the firearms industry to educate the customer.
He's talking about House Bill 5, or the Constitutional Carry Act. If passed, training and permitting requirements for concealed carry would go away. It's leading the pack of a slew of new bills attempting to loosen restrictions. But state advocacy groups like Moms Rising say all of this sets gun safety efforts backwards, and their biggest concern is the safety of children statewide.
Lawmakers want to remove another